Here's my pick for most wanted e-bikes of 2025, from cheapest to most expensive. Prepare for some eye-watering prices, truly unique designs, and one thing in common that gives an interesting insight into the direction the industry has taken. Amflow PL Carbon, the most affordable bike on this list and arguably the standout performer. There's not a lot to say about this bike that hasn't already been said. It's the most powerful full-fat electric trail bike on the market, and it's also one of the lightest. This combination puts the Amflow in a category of its own. The Avinox system produces 120 Nm of torque and 1000 watts of peak power. Is there really such a thing as too much power? Here in the UK, these bikes have been selling out before they've even arrived in the country. Buyers in the US have an even longer wait due to regulatory issues with supplied batteries. The Amflow has excelled in every test I've seen, however, teething issues with faulty displays, water ingress, firmware update errors, and overheating issues proves this bike is far from perfect. When buying a first generation model of anything, you're ultimately the test dummy. This bike is clearly a huge step forward for the industry, but if I was buying one, I think I'd go for the base model at a relatively bargain price of £6,000, which still gives you a great spec and the option to upgrade when finances allow. DJI is selling this bike as cheap as they possibly can to establish a foothold in the market, so this might be a risk worth taking if you're looking for a bargain bike with a ridiculous amount of power. Also, the warranty is transferable, so these could become a great used buy in 12 months' time, if you can find one. Mondraker Crafty Carbon. If you asked me to draw my dream bike and I was any good at drawing, it would probably look a lot like this, with a down tube that somehow houses an 800 watt-hour battery, the zero suspension system housing a shock placement low and rearward, space for several water bottles, and not a single bad paint job in the entire lineup. If looks are anything to go by, then this one is a winner. However, I've come across similar suspension designs in the past, and the main limitation is reduced seat post insertion. If this is something you can live with, then there aren't many things I can fault on this bike. Pricing is also really competitive across the range. My pick of the bunch would be the XR model with Olin suspension, SRAM T-type group set, and Maven brakes. Norco Sight VLT. Using the updated Bosch Performance Line CX system, notice a theme here, the new Sight VLT claims to be almost 20% lighter than the previous model, this time sporting the larger 800 watt-hour battery. Torque is still only 85 Nm currently, one of very few Bosch powered bikes that have an idler to eliminate the effect of chain growth. It'll be interesting to see how this system works in the real world to find out if this latest trend is more than just a fad. The Sight comes from a gravity-focused brand with real pedigree. The main negative I can see right now is the comparably high price, so this bike better be good. The only model coming to the UK is the C2 for £9,000, so choice is limited. Crestline S180. Championed by friend of the channel, Rob Rides EMTB, the updated Crestline is very close to the top of my list of most wanted bikes. With a suspension platform developed in partnership with Cascade Components and a silhouette closely resembling a Santa Cruz, not that one, what's not to like? Well, the price. Exclusivity doesn't come cheap. But with only around 150 models ever being made, you can guarantee you'll be the envy of your riding mates. 2 models available, providing up to 180 mil of travel front and rear, making this bike one of very few long travel 5th generation Bosch CX powered bikes on the market. It can be set up full 29er or mullet, and you can max out the battery capacity with up to 1050 watt hours with the internal 800 and PowerMore range extender combo, or send a special request to Troyden at Crestline for the ultimate park bike setup of a 400 watt hour internal battery and 250 range extender when needed. Whyte E-Lyte Evo Stag. The original Bosch SX-powered SL version of the E-Lyte has received a full fat update for 2025. We now have a new, more efficient 5th generation CX motor, another CX motor, with an integrated 400 watt-hour battery and the 250 watt-hour PowerMore range extender for those longer rides. Of course, more power means more weight. 22.3 kilos, or almost 50 pounds to be precise, but that's a worthy price to pay. Now with burlier tyres, a Grip X2 equipped Fox 36 fork, and a pair of Hope V4 brakes and Hope hubs means there's absolutely no need to upgrade from my pick of the bunch, the Evo Stag Works model. My only gripe, once again, the price. Orbea Wild. Possibly the best looking bike of the bunch in my opinion, and a whole host of customizations, especially if you're prepared to go down a rabbit hole in the paint configurator. The new Wild receives subtle updates including the Gen 5 Bosch CX motor. Again, sadly there is no 800 watt-hour battery option, but the new 600 or old 750 can be spec'd. That frame is just a bit too sleek for the chunky high capacity battery, which in my opinion was the right path to take, because if you want to go further, just buy the range extender. Tested to the limit last year by Martin Mays on the World Cup downhill circuit, so no doubting the credentials on this one. If you want value for money, I'd go for the H20 model, or sell a kidney and get the Wild M Limited with a custom paint job for an eye-watering £11,300. But wait, I need to pick a favourite, and creating this list has been a real eye-opener. Firstly, the number of Bosch-powered bikes on this list is no coincidence. Bosch have been the industry standard for many years now in both performance and reliability, leading the majority of premium EMTB manufacturers to move over to the German supplier. Whilst the new CX motor doesn't appear to be a giant leap for the industry, the refinement in the updated system is clear to see. Lighter, quieter, more efficient, and likely more reliable. It's an obvious choice for buyers and manufacturers alike. So I've got to pick one. Money no object, having spent an unhealthy amount of time on the configurator, it's got to be the custom Orbea Wild M Limited in a size large. Thanks Orbea. If you're not looking to remortgage your house to buy your next bicycle, then check out my long-term review of the Specialized Evo, a much more wallet-friendly option and probably just as much fun. Thanks for watching.